Hare Krishna everyone. Today we are starting to read Bhagavatam. So like yesterday, let's start. I'll be sharing my entire screen and I'll be mirroring my iPad to MacBook. So that will give you the taste. Let me see how it is coming. Then I will continue. It's perfect. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुमीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं गाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं तं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय बुद्धले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी राम नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचार निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So yesterday we read to the verse 1.7.34. Let's continue text 35. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. मैनं मैनं पार्थार्हसि ध्रातुं ब्रह्मबन्धुम् इमं जहि यो शौ अनगाशः सुप्तान् अवदिन्निशि बालकान्. Synonyms and translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ma edam, never unto him, Partha, O Arjuna, arhasi, up to, Tratum, give release, Brahma Bandhum, a relative of the Brahmana, Imam, him, Jahi, kill, Ya, he, who has, showed those, Anagasaha, faultless, Suptan, while sleeping, Avadit killed Nisi at night, Balakan, the boys. Translation. Lord Sri Krishna said, O Arjuna, you should not show mercy by releasing this the relative of the Brahmana, Brahmabandhu, for he has killed innocent boys in their sleep. Purport. The word Brahmabandhu is significant. A person who happens to take birth in the family of a Brahmana, but it is not qualified to be called a Brahmana, is addressed as the relative of the Brahmana and not as a Brahmana. The son of a high court judge is not virtually a high court judge, but there is no harm in addressing a high court judge's son as a relative of the honorable justice. Therefore, as by birth only, one does not become a high court judge. Important. So, also, one doesn't become a Brahmana simply by birthright, but by acquiring the necessary qualifications of a Brahmana. As a high court judgeship is a post for the qualified man, so also the post of the Brahmana is attainable by qualification only. The Shastra enjoins that even if good qualifications are seen in a person born in a family other than that of a Brahmana, the qualified man has to be accepted as a Brahmana. And similarly, if a person born in the family of the Brahmana is void of the Brahminical qualification, then he must be treated as a non Brahmana, and in better religious terms, a relative of a Brahmana. Lord Sri Krishna, the supreme authority of all religious principles, the Vedas, has personally pointed out these differences, and he is about to explain the reason for this in the following slokas. Mattam brahmattam suttam balam striyam jadam prapannam viratam vitam naripum hanti dharma ved mattam brahmattam suttam balam striyam jadam Prapannaviratam beatam naripum hanti dharmave. Mattam careless, pramattam intoxicated, unmattam insane, suptam asleep, balam, boy, striyam, woman, jadam, foolish, prapannam, surrendered, viratam, one who has lost his chariot, beatam, afraid, no, not, ripum, enemy, hanti, killed, dharma, with one who knows the principles of religion. A person who knows the principles of religion doesn't kill an enemy who is careless, intoxicated, insane, asleep, afraid, or devoid of his chariot. Nor does he kill a boy, a woman, a foolish creature, or a surrendered soul. Purport. An enemy who doesn't resist is never killed by a warrior who knows the principles of religion. Formerly, battles were fought on the principles of religion, not for the sake of sense gratification. If the enemy happened to be intoxicated, asleep, etc., as above mentioned, he was never to be killed. These are some of the codes of religious war. Formerly, war was never declared by the whims of selfish political leaders. It was carried out on religious principles free from all vices. Violence is carried out on religious principles is far superior to so-called non-violence. Next, Swaprananya Parapa Yah Parapranai Prapshnunati Agnah Kalaham Tadvadastasya hi Shreyo Yaddosha Yati Adahpuman. Sorry. Synonyms and translation. Swapranan, one's own life, yeah, one who. Paraprana, at the cost of other lives. Pushnati, maintains properly. Agrinaha, shameless kalaha. Wretched tatvadam, killing of him. Tasya, he certainly is Shreya, well being, yet by which doshat, by the fault. Yati goes downwards. Pumani person. Translation. A cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' lives deserves to be killed for his own well being. Otherwise, he will go down by his own actions. Purport. A life for a life is just punishment for a person who cruelly and shamelessly lives at the cost of another's life. Political morality is to punish a person by the death sentence in order to save a cruel person from going to hell. That a murderer is condemned to death sentence by the state is good for the culprit, because in his next life he will not have to suffer for his act of murder. Such a death sentence for the murderer is the lowest possible punishment offered to him. Oof. And it is said that in the Smriti Shastras that men who are punished by the king on the principle of a life for a life are purified of all their sins, so much so that they may be eligible for being promoted to the planets of heaven. According to Manu, the great author of Sweet Codes and religious principles, even the killer of an animal is to be considered murderer. Because animal food is never meant for the civilized man. It's important. Whose prime duty is to prepare himself for going back to God. It's a prime duty. He says that in the act of killing an animal, there is a regular conspiracy by the party of the sinners, and all of them are liable to be punished as murderers, exactly like a party of conspirators who kill a human being combinedly. This is very good. So here Prabhupada gives all the detail. He who gives permission, he who kills the animal, he who sells the slaughtered animal, he who cooks the animal, he who administers the distribution of the foodstuff, and at last, he who eats such cooked animal food are all murderers. And all of them are liable to be punished with the laws of nature. No one can create a living being despite all the advanced. This is the main logic. No one can create a living being despite all the advancement of material science. And therefore, no one has the right to kill a living being by one's independent whims. For the For the animal eaters, the scriptures have sanctioned restricted animal sacrifices only, and such sanctions are there just to restrict the opening of slaughterhouses and not to encourage animal killing. The procedure under which animal sacrifice is allowed in the scriptures is good both for the animal sacrifice and the animal eaters. It is good for the animal in the sense that the sacrificed animal is at once promoted to the human form of life after being sacrificed in the old to, and the animal eater is saved from the grosser types of sins. Eating meat supplied by organized slaughterhouses, which are ghastly places for breeding all kinds of material afflictions to society, country, and the people in general. Woof. Yeah. The material world is itself a place always full of anxieties. And by encouraging animal slaughter, the whole atmosphere becomes polluted more and more by war, pestilence, famine, and many other unwanted calamities. Whoa. I'm coughing like anything, no? I should take Carda today. I got a separate medicine for cold. I don't know I got cheated or not, but something I bought for 50 dirhams. I don't think it's evaporating. Hot water, you just keep it, smell it. If you cover it, I think you can preserve it as well. It's sublimation for the sublime process. Okay. Next, Pratishrutam cha bhavatha panchalyai shinvato mama aharshi Shirastasya este manine putraha. Synonyms. Pratishrutam, it is promised cha and bhavata by you, Panchalya, unto the daughter of the king of Panchali, Draupadi. Srinvata, which was heard mama by me personally. Her she must I bring Siraha the head. Tasya of him, ya whom te your manini considered Putraha the killer of your sons. Translation. Furthermore, I have personally heard your promise, Draupadi, that you would bring forth the head of the killer of your sons. Tadashau papa tatayatmabandhuha bhartuscha vipriyam vira kritaman kulapam shanaha. Tataha, therefore, also this man, Vadyatham, will be killed. Papa, the sinner, Atyathai, assaulter, Atma, own, Bandhuha, killer of the sons, Bhartuhu, of the master. Cha also, Priyam, having not satisfied Veera, O warrior, Kritavan, one who has done it. Kulapum Shaha, the burnt remnants of the family. Translation. This man is an assassin and a murderer of your own family members. Not only that, but he has also dissatisfied his master. He is but the burnt remnants of his family. Very dead kind of thing. Kill him immediately. Purport. The son of Dronacharya is condemned here as the burnt remnants of his family. The good name of Dronacharya was very much respected, although he joined the enemy camp. The Pandavas held him always in respect, and Arjuna saluted him before beginning the fight. There was nothing wrong in that way. But the son of Dronacharya degraded himself. This is important. By committing acts which are never done by the Dvijas or the twice born higher caste. Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya, committed murder by killing the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi, by which he dissatisfied his master Duryodhana, who never approved of the heinous act of killing the 5 sleeping sons of the Pandavas. This means that Ashwatthama became an assaulter of Arjuna's own family members, and thus he was liable to be punished by him. In the Shastras, he who attacks without notice, kills from behind, and sets fire to the another's house, or kidnaps one's wife is condemned to death. Krishna reminded Arjuna of this fact so that he might take notice of them and do the needful. Sutavacha evam parikshata dharmam partah krishnena choditaha naichadantam gurusutam yadyapi atmahanam mahan. Sutaha Sutta Goswami Vacha said, evam, this parikshata, being examined, dharmam, in the matter of the duty, partha, Sri Arjuna, Krishnena, by Lord Krishna, choditaha, being encouraged, not achat, Achyata did not like Hantum to kill Guru Sudam, the son of his teacher. Yadyapi, although Atmahanam, the murder of the sons, Mahan, very great. Okay, it's given here like this. Let's see what is given. So the Goswami said, although Krishna, who was examining Arjuna in religion, encouraged Arjuna to kill the son of Dronacharya, Arjuna, a great soul, didn't like the idea of killing him. Although Ashwatthama was a heinous murderer of the Arjuna's family members, Arjuna was a great soul, undoubtedly, which is proved here also. He is encouraged here personally by the Lord to kill the son of Drona. But Arjuna considered that the son of his great teacher should be spared, for he happens to be the son of Dronacharya, even though he is an unworthy son, having done all sorts of heinous acts whimsically for no one's benefit. Lord Sri Krishna encouraged Arjuna outwardly just to test Arjuna's sense of duty. It's not that Arjuna was incomplete in the sense of his duty, nor was Lord Sri Krishna unaware of Arjuna's sense of duty. But Lord Sri Krishna put to test many of his pure devotees just to magnify the sense of duty. Wow. The gopis were put to such test as well. Prahlad Maharaj was put to such a test. All pure devotees come out successful in their respective test with the Lord. All pure devotees come out. Yes. Jai Prabhupada. Jai. अतोपेत्य स्वशिबिरं गोविन्दप्रियसारथि न्यावेदयत्तं प्रियायै शोचन्त्य आत्मजान् हतान्. Atha thereafter Upatya, having reached Swa own Sibiram camp, Govinda, one who enlivens the senses, Lord Sri Krishna, Priya dear Sarathihi, the charioteer, Shochantyai, lamenting for Atmajan, own sons, Hantan murdered. Translation. After reaching his own camp, Arjuna, with their dear friend, sorry. After reaching his own camp, Arjuna, along with his dear friend and charioteer Sri Krishna, entrusted the murderer unto his dear wife, who was lamenting for her murdered sons. Purport: the transcendental relation of Arjuna with Krishna is of the dearmost friendship. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord Himself has claimed Arjuna was his dearmost friend. Every living being is thus related with Supreme by some sort of affectionate relation, either as a servant or as a friend or as a parent or as a son, object of conjugal love. Everyone thus can enjoy the company of the Lord in the spiritual realm if he at all desires and sincerely tries for it by the process of bhakti yoga. This is important. What is it? You have to try for it. If we at all desire, first you have to desire strongly and sincerely try. It's not Prabhupada saying just try. Prabhupada words are so perfect. In the company of the Lord in the spiritual realm, if he at all desires, which loka is this? 1.7.41. 1741. I love this loka. If he at all desires and sincerely tries for it by the process of bhakti yoga, then he can enjoy the company of the Lord. Jai, nice. 42nd. तथावृताम्बजवत्पाशबद्धं नवान्मुखं कर्म जुगुप्सितेन निरीक्ष्य कृष्णा प्रकृतं गुरोः सुतं वामस्वभावकृपया ननान्मथ तथाहृतम्बजुवत्पाशबन्धम् अवान्मुखं कर्म जुगुप्सितेन निरीक्षया निरीक्ष्य कृष्णा प्रकृतं गुरोः सुतं वामस्वभावकृपया ननाम च. Synonyms: atha, thus, ahritam, brought in, pasuvat, like an animal, pasubandham, tied with ropes, avakmukam, without a word in his mouth, karma, activity, jugupshi, being heinous, nirikshya, by seeing, Krishna, Draupadi, apakritam, the door of the degrading, Guruho, the teacher, Sutam, the son, Vama, beautiful Subhava nature, Kripaya, out of compassion, Nanama, offered prayers, Cha and Nanama. Shishuddha Goswami, Nanama. Tabu Nanama. I'm going to use this word. Nama, offered obeisances. Shishuddha Goswami said, Draupadi then saw Ashwatthama, who was bound with ropes like an animal, and silent for having enacted the most inglorious murder. Due to her female nature and due to her being naturally good, and well behaved. She showed him due respects as a Brahmana. Wow, this is what. Ashwatthama was condemned with the Lord himself, and he was treated by Arjuna just like a culprit, not like the son of a Brahmana or teacher. But when he was brought before Srimati Draupadi, she, although grieved for the murder of her sons, and although the murderer was present before her, could not withdraw the due respect generally offered to a Brahmana or the son of Brahmana. What is this? This is next level. This is due to her mild nature as a woman. Women, as a class, are no better than boys, and therefore they have no discriminatory power like that of a man. Oh, they lack like this. Okay. Ashwatthama proved himself to be unworthy son of a Dronacharya or a Brahmana. For this reason, he was condemned with the greatest authority, Lord Sri Krishna. And yet, a mild woman could not withdraw her natural courtesy for a Brahmana. Even to date, in a Hindu family, a woman shows proper respect to the Brahmana caste. However fallen and heinous a Brahma Bandhu may be, but the men have begun to protest against Brahma Bandhus who are born in the families of good Brahmanas but by action are less than Shudras. The specific words used in this sloka are Vama Svabhava, mild and gentle by nature. A good man or woman accepts anything very easily, but a man of average intelligence doesn't do so. Oof. Prabhupada gives so many things to go on with your life. But anyway, we shouldn't give up our reason and discriminatory power just to be gentle. You have to be gentle, man. Then don't give up reason and discriminatory power. One must have good discriminatory power to judge a thing on its merit. We shouldn't follow the mild nature of women and thereby accept that which is not genuine. Ashwatthama may be respected by good natured women, but that doesn't mean that he is as good as a genuine Brahmana. Yes. Vachachahas, Vachachasahantiyasya Bandhananayanam Sati Mucyatam Yesha Brahmano Nitaram Guruhu. Water said, Cha and Hanti being unbearable for her, Asya his bandhana being bound, Anayanam bringing him Sati the devoted, Mucyatam, just get him released. Yesha this Brahmana, sorry, a Brahmana, Nitaram, our Guru teacher. Translation: she could not tolerate Ashwatthama's being bound by ropes and being a devoted lady. She said, release him, for he is a Brahmana or spiritual master. Wow. As soon as Ashwatthama was brought before Draupadi, she thought it intolerable that a Brahmana should be arrested like a culprit and brought before her in that condition, especially when the Brahmana happened to be a teacher's son. Arjuna arrested Ashwatthama knowing perfectly well that he was the son of Dronacharya. Krishna also knew him to be so, but both of them condemned the murderer without consideration of his being the son of Brahmana. According to the revealed scriptures, a teacher, a spiritual master, is liable to be rejected if he proves unworthy of the position of a guru or a spiritual master. A guru is called also an acharya or a person who has personally assimilated all the essence of the Shastras and helped his disciples to adopt the ways. Ashwatthama failed to discharge the duties of a Brahmana or a teacher, and therefore he was liable to be rejected from the exalted position of a Brahmana. On this consideration, Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna were right in condemning Ashwatthama, but to a great lady, but to a good lady like Draupadi, the matter was considered not from the angle of Shastric vision, but as a matter of custom. By custom, Ashwatthama was offered the same respect as offered to his father. It was so because generally people accept the son of Brahmana as a real Brahmana by sentiment only. Factually, the matter is different. A Brahmana is accepted on the merit of qualifications, not on the merit of simply being the son of Brahmana. But in spite of all this, Draupadi desired Rama be at once released, and it was all the same a good sentiment for her. This means that the devotee of the Lord can tolerate all sorts of tribulations personally, but still such devotees are never unkind to others. Yeah, even to the enemy. Oof, these are the characteristics of one who is a pure devotee of the Lord. She is pure devotee of the Lord. Sarahasyadanurvedah Savisaragyopasaямyah अस्त्रग्रामश्च भवता शिक्षितो यत् अनुग्रहान्. Sarahasya, confidential, Dhanuh Vedaha, knowledge and the art of manipulating bows and arrows. So be it Sarga, releasing Upa Samyataha, Samyaha, controlling Astra weapons, Gramaha, all kinds of cha and Bhavata by yourself, Sikshita by who? Anugrahat, mercy of translation. It was by Dronacharya's mercy that you learned the military art of the throwing arrows and the confidential art of controlling weapons. Dhanurveda, military science, was taught by Dronacharya with all its confidential secrets of throwing and controlling by Vedic hymns. Gross military science is dependent on material weapons, but finer than the art of throwing the arrows, saturated with Vedic hymns, which act more effectively than gross material weapons like machine guns or atom bombs. The control is by Vedic mantras of the transcendental science of sound. It is said in Ramayana that Maharaj Dasarath, the father of Lord Sri Krishna, Sri Rama, used to control arrows by sound only. He could pierce his target with his arrow by only hearing the sound without seeing the object. Woof. So this is a finer military science than that of gross material military weapons used nowadays. Arjuna was taught at this, and therefore Draupadi wished that Arjuna feel obliged to Acharya Drona for all these benefits, and in the absence of Dronacharya, his son was his representative. Draupadi wished that Arjuna feel obliged to Acharya Drona for all these benefits. And in the absence of Dronacharya, his son was his representative. That was the position of the good lady Draupadi. It may be argued why Dronacharya, a rigid Brahmana, should be a teacher in military science. But the reply is that Brahmana should become a teacher, regardless of what his department of knowledge is. A learned Brahmana should become a teacher, a priest, and a recipient of charity. A bona fide Brahmana is authorized to accept such professions. Oof. Okay. स एष भगवान् द्रोणः प्रजारूपेण वर्तते तस्यात्मनो वर्धं मत्नीयेष आस्ते नान्वगाद्विरशुः कृपी. Synonyms he Isha. Certainly. Bhagavan Lord Dronacharya Praja Rupena in the form of his son Ashwathama existing is existing. Tasya his own. Tasya his Atmanaha of the body. Ardham half Patni wife Aste living na not Anvagat undertook Virasu having a son present. Hari, the sister of Kripacharya. Saisha Bhagavan Drona. Okay, everyone. I think that's all for it. Thank you all for joining for the Srimad Bhagavatam reading. Hare Krishna. So let's end. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.